haunted type place, if you said to me like, you can go in and film overnight or something, I'd be like, yep. Oh yeah. Can I
Game.
bring can I bring a friend? Can I make sure I can bring someone with me? Just in case. You never know. I'm not gonna rule anything out. But
Yep.
yeah. But Amityville is a beautiful little the Ocean Avenue is a great street, just gorgeous. Yeah, you never would know. I mean, that's what because of like the fact that a family was murdered in there, a whole family, and it's such a beautiful street, and that's why I've done some stuff in Beverly Hills, and I'm doing more in Beverly Hills true crime. I find that fascinating when you're in these beautiful areas and beautiful homes, but there's the darkness that's inside, that's happened inside these homes. That's more fascinating to me than when like a true crime that happens like in small town true crime. I like too. I mean, it fascinates me. But when it's in, there's something dark and creepy about Beverly Hills and the Hollywood Hills after dark.
Yeah.
So if you ever go, you'll get that feeling. And a few people have written to me on the videos I've done, like true crime videos in Hollywood Hills and Beverly Hills. They've written to me and like either they live there or live nearby. They're like, yeah, you nailed it. There's an eerie feeling after dark. I'm like, yeah. Like I'd almost feel safer walking around. I don't know. I mean, I was just walking around New York City in the middle of the night by myself, and it's fine. But walking around Beverly Hills in the middle of the night by myself, I don't know, man. It's a little creepy. There's too many dark shadows and too many, like, you just hear you start thinking you're hearing stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
That's insane. Like, I got a friend that lives in California, and from what they say is like, yeah, it's like you'll think the nicest part of town, but the most stuff's happened there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The weirdest stuff happens there. Like there's crime all over LA, as there is any big city, and but the weirdest crimes, like the weirdest stuff happens in the nicest areas, like where it's either like a lot of people are killed at once, or there's like a weird sexual nature to the crime. Like I'm thinking about Albert Decker, this guy that was killed there. And like in West Hollywood and on Melrose and stuff, there's like the most bizarre crimes. But I mean, California attracts everybody because it's so warm, and so you're gonna get all types. Man, some of those are gonna be weird.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I
And
love it. I love California and the States so much. I mean, my friends make fun of me. They say like, you must be American. Like you must be part American. And I'm like, no, I really am 100% Canadian, but I love the United States of America and what it means and the ideals behind it, and I love it. Yeah, it's my
yeah,
favorite place to go. I love being in Canada, but I love going to the States.
hell yeah. It's like a fresh air, right?
Fresh air and people. I love. I mean, meeting you. You're a great guy. I meet people all the time. Like, I just love it. I've never have a bad experience really. I meet so many great people. You know, and
That's
Americans and Canadians are very much the same. Yeah.
that's like if I ever moved to Canada, I think I would mainly go for the hockey and um for the Hart family, the legacy
Oh yeah.
there.
That's in mid Canada, middle Canada.
Mhm.
So like the equivalent of like I'm like in the equivalent of like say no, New York City, like that's kind of, and that would be like Nebraska
Mhm.
to put in terms. So that's far. I did that video last year, a year ago, this December. I did the Hart Foundation. I did like Owen Hart's grave and then the house. I
Mhm.
think that's all I did. But yeah, yeah, I was a big Hart Foundation fan too.
That's a dope, bro. Like my brother showed me the Hart Foundation back in the day, and growing up watching wrestling, that was like my number one thing was wrestling.
Yeah.
And you know, I was like, damn, dude, I was always a fan of Owen. Never really a fan of Brett, you know,
No.
but I was Owen because he was the younger brother. And you know, with everything that they had to do, I was just like, dude, I was always back then. I was like, I want to be a pro wrestler. I want to train in the Hart Dungeon. That was like my main thing.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
wanted that
that'd
to
be
be
cool.
my thing.
Have you seen the pictures of what it looks like, the dungeon? I mean, I think it's different. I mean, obviously the new whoever lives there now have changed it, but I mean, it really was a dungeon. There wasn't much there other than some mats and cement walls. It looks
Yeah.
pretty crazy. But I was doing like wrestling was such an obsession with me for um about 3 years. Only what 3 years, and then puberty hit. I always say that. Then puberty hit, and I forgot all about wrestling. And then I still kind of kept up with it a little bit, followed it, but slowly started. I just got into other things. But then when I was doing my channel, now I forget what the first wrestling one I did. It wasn't Owen Hart. Can't remember. But I just started thinking. I was like, oh yeah, like oh, it was. I think no, was it? Well, I did Jack Tunney, who was the president of WWF.
I
But
remember that one.
and I just started thinking that was a big part of my life, and I know a lot about that era. The WWF becoming before they became WWE. I know a lot about that, and I want to see these places. So that's why I started going to them and going to wrestlers' graves and stuff like that. And yeah, because I was obsessed. Oh man, I was obsessed with. I had over 2,000 wrestling magazines. It was yeah. My father would take me to the wrestling match that we bought. He was the greatest. I mean, he spoiled me in that sense. We'd walk to each store to try to find a new wrestling magazine. And this was the room. This is my house now. This was my parents' house before they passed away. It's all been redone. But this was the wrestling room. This
Wow.
was this was where I kept all my wrestling toys and all my magazines. And my friends came over. We'd beat the crap out of each other in this room, fighting.
Hell yeah. That's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
cool. Like, like my parents were good too, bro. Like it's insane because my dad took me to every match that he could. Take me to Freeman Coliseum up the road,
Nice.
and ran down the way, and he was sick, bro. So like he knowing him, he was just like, oh, I'll wait for him to come back. But like deep down, like I ran like just to shake Owen Hart's hand, Shawn
Right.
Michaels' hand.
Yeah.
Those are the iconic moments that I always remember. And he was a business guy, so he was gone during the week, and then he comes back on Friday, and he would bring me a surprise, either a new wrestling action figure, or a magazine, or
That's
a
nice.
toy belt. This this shit like that. It was just it's crazy, bro, to look back at it now.
Yeah.
You know, and
I know.
those are
Yeah, my
great.
dad would do the same thing and bring me something new all the time. It was yeah. It sounds like you had a good father, good guy. Well, I hope you still have him, right?
No, he passed away when I was 8 years old.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's
That's a
crazy.
long time. Yeah.
It was only 8 years basically of like he showing me wrestling and stuff like that. That I kept it going for a long time, and then I started kind of growing away from it, and then now it's just mainly like I was watching sports more, like
Right.
basketball and football and stuff like that. But it was crazy, bro. Like my mom too. My mom took me to wrestling shows too, and she
Nice.
died. She passed away when I was 25, so
Oh,
32
I'm
now.
sorry.
It's crazy.
Wow. Well, you've got those, and that's, I mean, it's not the same, but you do have those memories, right? And that kind of like when I watch old wrestling videos, I think of my father, sort of thing. So you still have that. I'm sorry. That's young to lose your parents. It's very young.
It's
Yeah.
wild, bro. Like, I look back at it now and I was like, dude, those were some crazy times, man. We went to WrestleManias and been to three, and to go to those, I was like, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing, yeah, I was at WrestleMania four, I think it was the one in Toronto. So
Oh,
I,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know which. I think WrestleMania 3 was the one from the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit. That
yep.
was the famous one, and I think four was in Toronto. I don't know. Yeah, I think four was in Toronto. I
I
can't
think
remember.
it was Warrior and Hulk Hogan, right? Main
Yeah,
event.
yeah, because not WrestleMania 3 was Hogan versus Andre,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think WrestleMania 4 was Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior at Skydome, which is now Rogers Center in Toronto. I
Yep.
don't know. I mean, I can look it up, but yeah, I think it was WrestleMania 4. And by then I was kind of just getting out of wrestling, but I still couldn't pass that up.
You're
You
excited
know,
about that. Going to a
because
Mania,
my
man.
dad always wanted me to watch wrestling with him, and I wouldn't. As a kid, I would not watch it. I was like, no, I want to watch cartoons in the morning. He was like, and he would have it on. I'd be like, ah. And then I saw Andre the Giant getting his hair cut by Big John Studd, and
Mhm.
I told this story on the Big John Studd video I just did. I started freaking out. I was little. I was screaming at the TV. My dad had to calm me down, and he was like, it's not real. I'm like, yeah, it is. They're cutting his hair, and I was hooked. Hooked. I was hooked. I had to tune in the next week, and then I honestly don't think I thought of anything else other than wrestling for like 3 years.
Got that right.
Yeah.
Real. That's all I was. That was all my main thing, man. Going to, watching wrestling every week, and then when it came to town, I never missed a show. That was the blessing. I never missed a show. Even though my mom was, by herself, for so long, and I was like, I never missed a show. I ended up just getting, when I got older, buying the tickets and stuff like that, or myself, and it's crazy because like now, like wrestling shows come to town often. I never go anymore, and it's just like, yeah, I remember when I never was like hooked on it.
We never would have missed it, and now it's just kind of like, yeah. I mean, you get older, you get responsibilities, you have other things, you have to pay for, or other things you're interested in. Yeah, I don't even know when the last time the WWE or WWF came to Toronto. WWE, I guess it is now. Yeah.
Wow, right?
Yeah, it is wild. Yeah.
Like I was like probably the biggest wrestling fan you would know, like back then growing up, and being a big fan of Shawn, getting his arm tat right there.
Really? Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, the Shawn Michaels tattoo that he has on his arm.
Nice. Yeah.
Getting that.
Yeah, you're a really big fan then.
Yeah, that was like my passion thing, but now it's great to see where it's at now, like wrestling, and then this is my thing now is YouTube, and meeting a lot of good people is dope. It's real dope. And do you have like one spot that you haven't filmed yet that like you're just like, oh, I gotta be there, I gotta do it that?
Yeah, I have a few. I mean, there's a few, and there's always ones that I put off, and for whatever reason, like I'm not. I travel so much for the channel now, but I still have to. I don't just film one video a day, right? I don't have that luxury yet. I got to film as much as I can, from morning till the sun goes down. But lots of times I'll be, if I'm like driving from Detroit through Chicago to Kentucky to New York City and back, that I just did in 30 days. I passed a few things, big locations I want to do, and I'm like, to get to the other thing that I have planned, I gotta cut that out, I can't do that. I got to come back to it at a certain point. And even when I left LA in May, I'm like, literally got back. I remember getting back the May 30th or whatever. And it's on the plane. I was editing on the plane, and I was thinking, oh, I needed this shot, or I needed this, I needed that, or, for a video. Yeah. So I still haven't edited those videos because I'm like, I'll make it back to LA this year. And now I am going tomorrow. So and then in LA again, you can never run out for pop culture stuff. So there's lots of, there's like Eminem inside the St. Andrews Hall, like the shelter where he first did, second place, he did his rap battles. It's hard to get in there unless there's a show going on. And when there's a show going on, how am I going to make a video? And then there's a boarded up building in downtown Detroit where they filmed the 8 Mile rap battles, and somebody got in there that I know, and I can't get a hold of them now to find out how they got in, because I've been there. I go there every time I'm in Detroit. I just go there. I try every door just to see if maybe one of them is open, and I can't get in there. So there's stuff like that. There's some big movies still I want to do, but yeah, there's lots.
All the way. Are we going out tonight? All the way. I'ma chug the bottle, chug it all the way.